So, yep,
Thank you, sir.
no problem. So what we are trying to talk about is that we are not yet into the application server. Okay, since we are not yet still into the application server, we'll not talk about the whether to call the Tomcat as a web server or application server. When I'm seeing here the web server, the servlet container, my main server I'm trying to refer here is the Tomcat. Clear? Not clear. Yes, right?
So Shiva, this we're talking about Tomcat server which contain both servlet container and serving static also, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
To make it more clear, let me take an example. Uh, I'm not sure if Search knows a heroine by name Aishwarya Roy. Do you know Search? Anytime you heard about the Bollywood heroine called as an Aishwarya Roy? You heard about her? Okay. I'm not sure if something problem from my audio, but I couldn't able to hear you. Anyways, when I'm saying let's take a Hollywood actress. Oh, you did not hear me properly? How about now? Am I audible and clear?
I'm having some issue with my phone. I don't know if it's me, but it keep on coming and going.
Oh, no problem, Search. No problem. I was trying to take an example to make the discussion more clear. But since you have understood, okay, let me pause that example. But Fazil or Shiram, you guys have any question about what exactly is meant by web server? Perfect. No questions from Shiram. I assume the same with Fazil and Search. Great. So this is what was the trend, okay, when the servlets and JSP were being introduced. Everyone was very happy. Customer was happy, companies were very happy, everyone was very happy. But one fellow by name Sun Microsystems, he wasn't happy. Okay, he wasn't very happy. He didn't stop his R&D just with the introduction of servlets and JSP. He continued his R&D, and he introduced many technologies into the Java J2EE programming world. One such important discussion is the introduction of the programming language called EJB and RML. Okay, EJB or RML. The so special feature about this particular technology is that anything and everything that is done by my service in JSP, that is static and dynamic content. Your EJB can not only deliver the static and dynamic content, but it is also specialized in giving you an additional advantage of remote communication. Clear? Your EJB and RMI are not only specialized in delivering the static and dynamic content, they also specialize giving you an additional advantage of the remote communication. So when compared to the servlets and JSP, my EJB and RMI are much more advanced. Clear? They are much more advanced. So all the developers started moving away from servlets and JSP to EJB and RMI. There is a problem. What is the problem? I can't use my web server with a servlet container to process the code related to the EJB and RMI. Why like that, Shiva? Why can't you use a servlet container to process a code related to the EJB and RMI? Because my EJB and RMI, when they're saying that we support remote communication, they clearly say that, okay, I need a server, which is a protocol independent server. It's something like this. I'm saying that I'm okay to take a training, okay, but I'm not comfortable to use a GoToMeeting. I'm not comfortable to use a WebEx. I can only do an in-person training. So what will happen? I'm very fixed, I'm very rigid. But for you people to come to India and take a training is not a feasible task. So what you say? No, let's not opt for Shiva. We'll try to find another trainer. Why? I'm not compatible. I'm not being flexible to accommodate you. Similarly, if you see your servlet container is also very rigid. It clearly says that anything and everything you want to communicate to me, anything and everything I want to communicate to you, I will follow the HTTP protocol or HTTPS protocol. EGB and RMS strictly says that anything and everything that needs to be communicated has to be a protocol independent server. Since your web server is an HTTP dependent server, I can't use my web server with a servlet container to process the code related to the EGB and RMI. Clear? Anyone, any questions still here?
I'm sorry, again, the last part which you said, Shiva.
Okay, I was saying that since your web server or your servlet container with a web server is a protocol dependent server. Which protocol? HTTP protocol dependent server. I can't use my web server with a servlet container to process the code related to the EJB and RMI. Why like that, Shiva? Because my EJB and RMI, when they're giving you all the advantages of serverless and JSP plus remote communication, they say that remote communication, I communicate remotely. So when I'm saying that I communicate remotely, I need a server. I need a container to be a protocol independent server. I'll come and talk to you in a HTTP. I'll come and talk in a T3. I'll come and make a SOAP protocol. So I might come and talk to you in any protocol, but your server should be able to be capable enough to interpret the requirement and deliver the necessary response. Clear? Not clear. How about Search or Shriram? Is it clear to both of you?
Hello?
Search, you had it clear?
Hello?
Search, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
So now my question is, so what you're trying to say is that uh, EGB actually pushed the servlet container to the next level.
Yep.
I mean EGB and RMI.
When compared to the serverless and JSP, EJB and RMI are much more advanced technologies, for which the servlet container is not an appropriate or the correct server.
Okay, thank you.
So since we had this particular hurdle, people started doing a lot of R&D coming up with a new server that can process not only the code related to the servlets and JSP, but also the EJB and RMI. When they were trying to do the R&D, they thought about three important requirements before continuing the R&D. First one, tomorrow a new technology comes, how do I support that? Second one, what are the problems or the issues currently in my system, in my current server? Third one, how do I meet the current requirement of processing a code related to the EJB and RMI? So keeping all these three important points in the mind, people started doing a lot of R&D. After doing the continuous R&D, they finally came up with a server, finally came up with a container called as application server. What is this application server, Shiva? How do we define that? An application server is a protocol independent server that has the capability to execute any kind of business logic. Apart from that, your application server gives you multiple other advantages like security, transaction management, resource pooling, EJB pooling, fail-safe operation, high availability, like that, multiple advantages are there in the application server which aren't available in the web server or a web server with a servlet container inside it. But when I'm trying to open an application server and understand what exactly is there in the application server, there are three layers that are present in the application server. The first one is called as the first one is called as the file system handler to take care of anything and everything related to the static content. The second one was called as a servlet container to take care of anything and everything related to the serverless and JSP related dynamic code. The third compartment, the third layer was called as EJB container to execute any specific logic that is related to the EJB and RM. Clear? Anyone? Any questions still here? Clear? Not clear? Okay, okay. Okay, cool. Confirmation from search is clear?
Hello, Shiva.
Yes, Shriram. Shriram, is it Shriram or Fazil?
Fazil.
Fazil, yep.
I mean, can you put up a diagram that can you show me that previous picture?
Yep, yep.
Yes. Here. So what the web server will contain file system handler and the servlet container.
Again, mark my words. Okay. Okay. Before I give answer to this exam question, do you consider Aishwarya Rai as still a hot and a sexy heroine?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, and she's around 50 years. I have to admire it.
Maybe.
Yeah, but for people, but for the common people like me, she's an old actress. That's it. Nothing more or nothing less. Okay, she's a good actress. She's an old actress. Okay, why I'm giving you this one line is because if you see here, 10 to 15 years back, if you see Aishwarya Rai, she is one of the most demanding actress. She was one of the most gorgeous, one of the most charming actress. Okay, every young person used to admire her beauty. But now it's not like that. Similarly, when the term servlet container or when the technology called as in servlets and JSP were being introduced, the server that was used to process the code related to the servlets and JSP, people used to call it as an web server with a servlet container. But as the time progressed, we don't call Aishwarya still as an young, charming, beautiful, sexy actress. We call her as she's a good actress. Similarly, okay, as the time progressed from servlet container to EJB or the application server, they changed the definition of the term web server as to only the static content server, not as a web server with a servlet container. Clear? Not clear. Fazil, clear? Not clear. They answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, got it, got it.
How about others? Anyone, any questions still here? Good. Silence, I'll assume no questions from anyone. Okay. Again, I'm hearing a little bit of background disturbance. I'm not sure if something from anyone, but yep, now it's loud clear. Thank you. Yep. So since you guys don't have any questions, I have a question. Why do I need a server? Why do I need a server first of all? Be it be web server, be it be application server, be it be any server. What is the core functionality for which I need a server? Don't say that you get an advantage of remote communication. Don't say the answer as you get an advantage of security clustering like that. Apart from that, what is the core reason, hardcore reason for any one of us to use a server? Okay. What do you mean by to serve anything? Let's say that I don't want to serve anything and everything. I want to serve only the servlets in JSP.
Maybe to reach the client or customer what they are
No
giving the
problem.
service.
I'll give the application to the customer. I have 1 lakh customers. 1 lakh customers, I'll give my application. Still, it's useless for them. Coming back to search, address client request. Of course, address to address the client request. Why do I need a server? I can directly ask my application code to get executed. Okay, like how I have an applet functionality. Okay, I'll directly ask it to get executed. Why do I need a server?
Because the logics can be executed only on the
What do you mean by logic?
Like transactions and all the
No
security
transaction,
way.
no security. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you, what is the on an average age of the students. Okay, but if you go back to a couple of sites, okay, these sites doesn't have security constraints. Couple of sites are there. If you're in the English, you must have definitely visited that those sites. Basic.com,
Uh,
and now it's been banned. Torrents.eu, it's banned
yes.
sites. These sites are not secure, but still they also need a server.
Okay.
Okay, let me take this question. How many of you had a chance to talk to a Chinese or a North Asian country people like China, Japan, or some parts of Malaysia, or to Korean people? Any one of you had a chance to talk to them? Or why do you
I
think?
have
Okay, you talk to them, you understand them very well. Is it
like
the place?
if they speak in English, I can obviously.
Okay. If you see majority of the time, okay, or the biggest reason why India is so popular for the services or for offshoring is because we are very good communicators. Okay, in the sense our language is at least allow other person to understand what we want to say. But if you see a Chinese or a Japanese or the people coming from that particular region, even though they know the English very well, the slang they try to use, the way they try to illustrate their speech, okay, it becomes very difficult for us to understand. Let's say that
True.
I want to start a business in China. Okay, the Chinese government has given a lot of subsidy to the investments. So I go to the country and I want to start a company. I obviously, since I can't understand their language, I'll hire a translator. What does the translator will do? Whatever the things the Chinese person wants to say, he'll convert into the format which I can understand. Correct or not?
True.
Correct or not?
Yes.
Similarly, for the server also, be it be application server, be it be a web server, be it be any server, okay? Whenever you're saying that I'm using a server, the core functionality of any server is to process the code. Clear? The core functionality of any server is to process the code. Other advantages like security, transaction management, high availability, clustering, session persistence, session affinity. These are all the things that comes later. But the basic purpose of any server is to process the code. Shiva, why do I need to process a code? Why can't I directly execute it? Whenever you're writing some programs, some development, these are written using some programming languages which are alphanumeric. Your systems, your machines cannot understand any language other than the binary format. That's the reason we need some server, we need some container that can process the code related to the programming language. When I'm trying to click on my TV remote once, it switches on my TV. Second time, if I'm trying to press that, it switch off. The basic expectation is that it should switch off my TV. How does the system knows that? There's a program written. Depending upon your uh, the press of the red button, according to that, it will interpret and say to the system that user has pressed the red button once, start. User has pressed the red button twice, stop the TV. Similarly, when you're trying to deploy your code in the server is the one which actually processes your code. So it's very important that the server understands what are the instructions you have written. So to do that, we need to process the code. To process the code, we need to have a server. Clear? The server is like your translator. Clear? Not clear? Okay, okay.
I am clear. Can you repeat the definitions for application server and server? I just want to note down.
No problem. No need to note it down. I'll share you. That's not needed.
Okay.
I'll share you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
How about search? You're clear? Good. So since we are all clear and good at what exactly is meant by the term application server, let me just give you a definition of what exactly is meant by JBoss application server. Then we can take a break from today. Okay? Yep. If you see the JBoss application server, the JBoss application server is an application server. What is the JBoss application server? JBoss application server is an application server that is coming from the Red Hat or open source, which is 100% Java J2EE compliant application server. Clear? What is a JBoss application server? We have JBoss application server introduced into the server market by two people. One is an open source community called as in jboss.org or wildfly.com, or the commercial server called as Red Hat. That's the first part. Second part, 100% Java J2EE compliant. What do I mean by that? I mean to say that, okay, if you see your application server has got multiple, when I'm saying that application, I call this one as an application server. I can't call any server and every server as an application server. If I want to say that I'll be traveling to US, what is the basic thing I need to have? I need to have a visa. If I'm trying to travel to US without a visa, I'm an illegal immigrant. In a similar way, we can't say this server as an application server, server B as an application server. To call or to qualify a particular server as an application server, Sun Microsystems people, because of whom we had this server introduced, said that these are the things that we need to have. These are the features that we need to implement. These are the things that should be processed in your system. Then only I'll certify your server as an application server. Then only you can certify your server as an application server. Your JBoss application server 100% adheres to the guidelines, 100% adheres to those standards. That's the reason I call my JBoss application server as 100% Java J2EE compliant server. Clear? Not clear. How about Fazil or Shira? You guys clear? Cool. So if you're clear, no questions, okay, we can break.
I have one question. Like,
Shriram, yeah.
if it is called as application server, it just need to be J2E compliant or any other things to follow.
Okay.
It's just one requirement of 100% Java J2E compliant or any other things.
Okay. I want to ask you one question. Meena, from which part of India you're from?
Andhra, Vijayawada.
Ah, cool. Then my life is easy. I got a
I'm
property,
sorry.
let's say in Vijayawada, near to the
Okay.
Precaution Parish, and I want to sell it off to
Okay.
you. And I'm saying that,
Okay.
boss, this is the place where you get your High Court, Supreme Court, that court, this court, all the Gyan sessions, I'll give it to you. Would you immediately
Okay.
buy that or would you go and verify it?
Verify.
Perfect. So once you verify, okay, let's say that in Vijayawada, okay, before we enter into the Vijayawada, there's actually another place called as an Undavalli. Okay, from there
Yes.
you have to go to Vijayawada. From Vijayawada you can travel to the capital city of Andhra, which is Amravati. So if I'm saying that, boss, this is the, let's say that my property which is there is in the starting, in the start of the Vijayawada. Can I say that this is the place where you get, you are very, very, very near to the capital city, and this is a place where the market is going up. If I say that, would you accept that? You say that, idiot, that place is very, very far away, close to 40 kilometers to 50 kilometers. How can you say it's very near? Correct or not? So
Yes.
I'm not saying that, okay, whatever I'm trying to say, it's not adhering to the standard. It's not adhering to the guidelines. Similarly, when we want to call any particular server as an application server, the guidelines that are being told by the Sun Microsystems people should be adhered. If they're adhered, and as it is said by you, if they're adhering, then I call them as an application server. Clear?
Okay. Clear.
Anyone? Any more questions? Cool. So silence, I'll assume no questions from anyone. Okay. If no questions, okay, we'll break here for today. But before we do that, as I said, I generally prefer the timings in the Indian Standard Time. Generally, most of the time, it will be a 5 day a week. But depending upon most of the students' availability, we can take it, okay, either on both on Saturday and Sunday, 2 2 hours. How that will do it? Okay, the process we'll talk little later, but the first weekend, which is day after tomorrow, will not have a session. The first weekend, the Saturday and Sunday of the this week, will not have a session. Fazil, can I take that question after 1 hour, because I'll immediately rush to my office. From my office, I'll take that question. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay,
Good.
okay.
So, guys, you're all okay? Clear? Anyone? Any questions? I'll ask
No,
Vasu to,
I'm good.
yeah, I'll ask Vasu to drop an email also on the same. So all the best, guests. We'll break here for today. Tomorrow when you resume back, we'll talk or introduce ourselves to the JBoss application server, differences between the Red Hat and the open source community. Bye everyone. Good night and good day.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.